Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, this scene with TJ and Molly really vexed me. And TJ character today really vexed me, right? Because one of the things he's not there talking about is the baby's ties to Christina. You know, Christina and Sonny and what's going on with Dante and everything like that, and worrying about the danger and always being connected to that portion of the family and the stresses that come with that. But I have a couple of gripes with that because, one, in a lot of ways, you're coming across as ungrateful, right? Like, you agreed to have Christina be the surrogate, right? And she's making a very large sacrifice to make both of y'all happy, right? That's I don't know if that's number one or number two, but it's up there with what bothers me about how he's coming across. Number two, even if they didn't wind up having this whole surrogacy thing, you do realize that Christina and Molly are sisters, right? So to sit there and talk about all this danger and stuff like that that you're letting into your life and your family and everything like that, Molly is still technically half of a Corinthos in a sense. So, regardless if her last name is Davis or not, you're still tied to that family. So you sound hella dumb. And, Jordan isn't just saying, well, that's human and everything like that. I feel like she is, I guess, in a position like that, she really can't sit there and call them out. So, but in a sense, it's like she's pacifying the BS that's coming out of his mouth, is what I have issues with. Because yes, it is human, and we all sit there and say some stupidness. My job is to sit there and point out some of the stupidness that people sit there and say, and yeah, it was just dumb. Now, John and okay, John and Anna, they're like, hey, listen, we got a warrant, and if we don't sit there and comply, then we can sit there and arrest you. So Carly's like, listen, go and search. Because honestly, to tell you the truth, I think she stalled long enough for Jason to sit there and leave, which is exactly what ended up happening. Because at first she was like, hey, listen, you gotta sit there and talk to my lawyer before y'all start with any of the certain stuff. But she stalled long enough for Jason to sit there and leave. And what I don't understand about Jason is that Jason's usually a very smart and calculated person, right? So they realize that Jason's not there. Like, well, where else could Jason go? And it's like, oh, I have an idea where he can go. The bridge. And I'm just like, don't you have any other, like, all the places you could sit there and go? You decide to go to the one place or a place where most likely they're going to be at. So, of course, they wind up running into him. And I'm like, Jason, when did you get this sloppy? But of course, he jumps off the bridge because, Jason's just a badass like that. And towards the end, it looks like he's at the Quartermain stables. I really hope that's not the case because I'm just like, really? Because at this point, is it old age or are you just starting to lose your edge? I don't understand. I really don't. Um, so Finn finds Jake is all right. Let me let me retell this story from the beginning. So Finn comes over to sit there and try to see Liz, and Liz is still at work. And while Jake is sitting there walking, answering questions just about what's been going on with him, the vape drops. So the vape drops, and Finn is like, is it yours? Jake is like, it's not mine, it's a friend of mine's. Talks about how he doesn't want him to do it, and yada, 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 yada. So, At some point, Finn is like, listen, because Jake is like, you're gonna have to sit there and want to tell my mom, right? He's like, well, yeah, but I think it should come from you first. Liz does want up getting back, and Jake is like, here, this is a friend of mine, it's not mine, or whatever. I was just holding it for someone. And Liz is like, all right, I trust you. And I think Jake said something like, thank you, or whatever. And when Jake is gone, Liz is like, she was freaking out the entire time. Right? She's freaking out on the inside, but she's showing massive amount of composure on the outside. And then she leaves, she's like, I was worried, I was so worried about it and stuff like that being his. And part of me was just kind of like, Liz, not to sit there and say that vaping is really healthy, but I'm pretty sure back in the day you actually used to sit there and chain smoke. So I'm like, I don't think the freaking out part really needed to happen. Um, Considering back then you were doing a lot worse, just want to throw that out there. But then you get into this whole conversation about boundaries and, did Finn overstep or would Liz be able to sit there and kind of talk to Violet about certain things or whatever without feeling like they're overstepping? They talk about Aiden and this guy that he likes, and they're talking about how their families is mushing and stuff like that, and becoming a lot more intertwined and stuff. I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm assuming it's gonna be marriage at some point. You know, it's interesting. I'm sitting there thinking about them now because a lot of people sit there and talk about they're super boring and they don't have chemistry and this, that, and the third, right? But in all reality, because I'm also watching Days of Our Lives and I'm looking at Trip and I'm looking at Wendy and they are literally like the worst part of these episodes. So in a lot of ways, I go back to GH and I'm just like, I can kind of appreciate their scenes a lot more because it's not as bad as Wendy and Trip on Days of Our Lives. So I think I've, because I watch all four of the soap operas, I can kind of appreciate certain scenes a little bit more when I go on other shows and watch characters that are just bad. Not saying they're super great, but watch Days, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, Now, this whole thing with Cody and this whole thing with Cody and Sasha, there's a part where Cody's like, I just want to sit and get the family some space. I don't really feel like, like he's a part of them. He's a part of Falcon Harry's. And I'm like, it's kind of stupid for him to say because he always calls Olivia Mama Q. So I don't understand why is there a crisis like that. You would think that his family would want you there. And you're just like, oh no, it's like he's playing a loner part, but you've been calling her Mama Q for as long as you've been on the show. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to be honest. For that level of withdrawal. And I'm glad that Maxie did drop her anger towards Spinelli. And she really did blow it out of proportion. And I think now she kind of realized, like, not just the fact that, yeah, she didn't like the lying part, but he didn't do it out of malice. He had good intentions for why he did what he did. And I guess maybe on some sort of level, kind of even realized that she probably did blow it out of proportion. What I don't understand is that she ran out of gas. Like she turned on the car and she's about to sit there and get ready to drive, and the car doesn't start because she ran out of gas. And I'm just like, how is that even possible? Like, I feel like you have to kind of be a little bit even more cautious about stuff like that because she's a mother of three, right? Like she's a mother of three. So it didn't really make a lot of sense because Spinelli probably went to sit and look for Jason, and they would probably have been doing that if Maxie didn't run out of gas. But it doesn't track for me at least. It just really doesn't track. Um, there was some stuff with Danny going to the hospital. Um, to check on Dante's condition and stuff, and Alexa's being like, "Hey, listen, you can hang out with me," because Sam was like, "You could just probably go back home. There's nothing that you can really do." I'm glad she didn't sit there and get too angry because it seemed like she was about to start like really railing into him, and Liz kind of spoke out for him a little bit. They have this talk with Alexis. Didn't really go anywhere, so I'm not gonna really bother to mention. You can probably just watch it yourself and just see. But let's see what else wound up happening. At some point, Carly does tell. I mean, Carly calls. Let's say Jason calls Sonny, meet him on the rooftop, and they talk about Jason. And Sonny's like thinking that he was with some guy trying to kill me or whatever. And Carly's like, Jason wouldn't sit there and do that, but I don't know if it's because of Ava playing devil's advocate, but he's like, hey, listen, he could have wound up, shooting Dante. Um, which again, he was with somebody else. So I don't even really understand why would he actually draw that conclusion that you know he's the one that shot Dante. It doesn't really track too well, you know. And if you stop to sit there and look at it, like Sonny should know that Jason is like an expert marksman. You know, he rarely misses. He's like bullseye at this point. Okay, so my point is, if Jason wanted you dead, he'd be dead. Like, let's just be real for a hot minute. So I don't really understand why is he all like, oh, well, most likely try to kill me and stuff. I'm just like, that doesn't really, I don't know. And Sam wants revenge. I almost kind of forgot about that part. Sam was not there talking to Sonny about Dante and his job and everything like that. And Sam's like, listen, you need to sit there and make whoever it is that shot Dante pay. You understand? You see my eyes? You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, I need you to make sure that this person pays. Um, then towards the end, Sonny tells Sam that Jason's alive. So I almost forgot about that. I feel like that's about it. But I also feel like there's more. It was so many characters. Like I said, there was so many characters. Um, I feel like for some odd reason I probably like missed some. I don't know why, but I feel like I missed some. There's more to talk about, obviously. So come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, Born and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video.